Nice now. I don't know, being her. Well, George. Yeah, that's. We're live. All right, I'm going to call to order the June 4th, 2025 meeting of the Evesham Municipal Utilities Authority. Please read the opening statement.
Both adequate and electronic notice of this meeting pursuant to both the Open Public Meetings Act and Emergency Remote Meeting Protocol advised and local finance notice 2020-21 has been given by the office manager of the Evesham Municipal Utilities Authority on February 6, 2025 in the following manner. Number one, emailing written notice to the Burlington County Times and the Courier Post. Number two, posting written notice to the official Evesham EMUA website. Number three, filing written notice with the clerks of Evesham and Medford. Written notice was posted at the authority's business address located at 100 Truck Road, Marlton, New Jersey 08053 on February 6, 2025. This statement shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chris, please do the roll call.
Mr. Wilmot,
Here.
Mr. Dress, not present. Mr. Kipnis,
Here. Can you hear me?
Mr. Kipnis. Mr. Sweeney, not, yes. Mr. Sweeney, not present. Mr. Schmidt,
Here.
Mr. Tenza, not present. Mr. Waters,
Here. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the May 5th, 2025 meeting of the Evesham Municipal Utilities Authority?
So moved.
Second.
Need a second?
Can you hear me?
we're having a hard time, Lou.
Okay.
Andrew, you want to second it?
I wasn't here.
Oh,
Okay.
actually,
Did you second that, Commissioner Davis?
I did.
We seen it.
yeah. Any questions, comments, additions, or deletions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Abstain.
Mr. Kipnis.
Aye. Yes.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Public comments on agenda items only, seeing no one from the public, I'm going to close public comment. Resolution 2025-577, payment of bills. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, does anyone have any questions regarding the bill list? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
I, except I have to abstain on purchase order 25-01965 Florio Perucci, as I have an indirect conflict of interest. All right, resolution 2025 that. All right, does anybody have any questions on this list? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Resolution 2025-59, adoption of the FY 26 water and sewer budget. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Laura, do you have anything to add
This
to
is
this?
just the DCA accepted our budget as approved by the board in April,
Okay.
and now this is just the official adoption.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Laura before we vote? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Resolution 2025-61, authorizing a public hearing for proposed adjustment to the connection fees rate schedule.
No, back 160.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, right. Resolution 2025-60, approval of cash management plan for FY 26. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Laura, do you have anything?
So this is our cash management plan. We re-adopt it annually each year and everything's been updated for fiscal year 26.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Laura? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Resolution 2025-61, authorizing a public hearing for proposed adjustment to connection fees rate schedule. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Laura?
So each year statutorily, I'm required to perform a connection fee calculation, which I did. And it's actually a statutory formula that we use. And this calculation was performed using gallons billed in 2024 to determine the average gallon per day and the number of service units. The authority's capital base was then updated for annual debt service payments and any major capital improvements in 2024. And the capital base is defined as the accumulated buy-in cost of the authority's water and sewer system. That updated capital base is then divided by the updated number of service units, and that determines the new connection fees. So this year's calculation advises that there is an adjustment needed to be performed. And the printout that I sent reflects that. It would be on the water side, an increase of $120.73 per connection. And on the sewer, $295.85 per sewer connection. That would raise the proposed water rate would be $3,019. And the proposed sewer rate would be $7,989. The resolution that we have before you requests authorization to advertise for a connection fee rate hearing. We would probably hold that in August.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Laura? Yeah, please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Resolution 2025-62, authorizing award of a 4-year contract through NASPO Value Point to Celco Partners, DBA Verizon Wireless in the amount not to exceed $170,000 for cellular service and mobile broadband. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
I got this.
Chris?
NASPO is a purchasing co-op that we use to buy our cell phones, tablets, and the service for those devices. This is just for 4 year to continue using that for 4 years. It actually is a price savings. The new pricing structure for it actually reduces the price, particularly on tablets, the monthly service. So we're actually paying less, a not insignificant amount less for those services. So that's what this is.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Chris?
Is the
Yeah,
price
can-
locked in for
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I believe they're locked in. We were looking at the terms and conditions, but I don't think we're signing a 4-year deal with them. It's just to use the
To
NASPO
use it.
contract for 4
Oh.
years.
Their contract with this pricing is good until 2029. So we want to award for the 4 years, just have authorization from the board to lock in that pricing for the next 4 years.
Yeah. Okay, Lou, did you have a question?
Yeah, more comment. Actually, the evaluation was pretty close with our incumbent, only 5 points ahead of the. What I would have expected the incumbent to actually have that in his favor, and maybe that ultimately was the reason they were 5 points ahead. But I just found it interesting that they weren't.
Yeah,
That's
this
pretty
is-
close.
That's for in 2 resolutions from now. That's the IT consultant resolution. This is just for the 2025-62, the NASPO cell device contract. It's a different resolution that's coming up in two, the one you're referring to.
Okay. Meyer. Sorry, I'm having difficulty seeing.
No worries, though. Any other
We
questions?
can relate, right?
Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Warren.
Aye. Resolution 2025-64, authorizing entry into 1-year shared services agreement with Evesham Township Fire District to utilize gasoline fueling stations. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Jen, it's you.
Yeah, from what I understand, they had a fuel tank over there, but the tank ended up it's breached, so they gotta get it fixed and get it taken care of, and, they're gonna come to us to get the fuel for a while for their unleaded vehicles.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Warren.
Aye. Resolution 2025-65, award of a 2-year contract to Konica Minolta, all covered through the use of competitive contracting process in an amount not to exceed $200,000 for the position of an information technology consultant. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Chris?
We got this one. Yeah, this is the one Lou was referring to. It's a 2-year contract for our IT consultants. Konica Minolta is the incumbent. It's been a bit of a road here because we initially put out bids, rejected the ones that came in, put it out again. So here we are. To answer Lou's question, I think it speaks more to the strength of the bidder that came in second. They just had a really strong proposal that we, seriously considered and scored. And but Konica Minolta, prevailed. They had the best score at the end of the day. But no, I know what you're saying. It was a strong proposal. But like I said, this is the incumbent company. We're happy with the service they provide, and we'll keep that going.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Chris?
Thanks, Chris. Good explanation. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, Chris, I actually really appreciated what you did in reviewing these
Okay.
4 or 5 companies and see how you rated them and the pros and cons of each company. I thought was pretty informative. So thank you for doing that. I guess the question I have for the incumbent, because they've scored the highest, their pricing is a little bit higher though. Did I read that right?
I don't think so. So the pricing is tough to look at because new companies come in, have different implementation costs versus our incumbent doesn't really have a cost for, to
Start or set up.
So it is kind of, you have to look at the intersection of all the different prices, not just the monthly, some charge different per user we add, some don't, some charge per call. I'm pretty sure they were one of the better prices. Yeah, I'd have to dive into the whole thing. They were the better price. There was a company that bid what seemed to me to be a unrealistically low price.
Yeah.
With a really high implementation cost. So again, you kind of have to weigh them differently. And if you actually see here, that's why I split that cost into monthly and one-time fees. But their monthly fees were not outrageous. They were one of the better ones.
So I have one other question. It's concerning the insurance limits that we're requiring the company to have. Has our risk management consultant seen those limits and approved those?
I can't really speak to
They
that.
do, and they see them for all our contracts, and they make recommendation as to what those limits should be based on the type of service. Construction limits might be
Right.
higher, something like this, consulting services, they're a little bit less of a
Yeah,
limit.
Because the GL was like 500,000.
Yes.
So that when I first saw it, I'm like, should that be a little bit higher? But as long as it's been vetted out. by
It
the
has.
respondents, so,
Yeah,
okay.
we do that with all of our contracts.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, but the professional liability was right there at the $1 million limit. I thought the same thing, Mike. But it's not like you got a construction contractor out there.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Motion to approve a proposal from T and M Associates in the amount not to exceed $144,500 for the construction, administration, and inspection services for the Lincoln Drive elevated water storage tower water storage tank rehabilitation. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Matt?
So this motion is for TM to, watch over the construction administration, the work that's being done for Lincoln Towers. We tried this to rehab this tower about almost 6 years ago now. COVID came in, it got delayed, we're back at it. The prices have increased, a lot more work, scope work involved. We actually met with them today over some financing options, looking to go through the I-Bank, but ultimately this is TM. Basically spearhead this job, make sure gets completed for us, and we're hoping to start it sometime in the fall.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Jeff?
Just a comment, I've looked at the overall pricing by hour, I mean, it's under $200 an hour. And the bulk of it is the field work, I guess, from someone on the site, so
It's a lot of field work with the antennas and cell sites that we have up there. That's kind of been like our delay now, why things been taking so long. COVID came in. Contractors changed for who's on the tower, who's not off the tower. Thankfully, we have a antenna consultant. And so we have to get all the moons essentially aligned up, and that's kind of what it's been taking, and we're at that point now.
okay.
Anyone else? Seeing that, please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Executive Director's Report, Jeff?
All right, first, I'm gonna start off with Commissioner Tenza had asked last meeting about the sludge prices. Just wanted to report back that the sludge prices that he noticed at last meetings are pretty much in line, relatively close, give or take, with every single monthly billing on our sludge hauling. And also, I just spoke to Mr. Tenza, he's down in Wildwood at a convention, so he thought, or he said that he was not gonna be here this meeting. So that's where he's at. Last month, we had 2 water main breaks. One was on a private facility, and that was a virtual hospital, so a private company took care of that. We assisted. We shared some parts and some manpower there. We will build back the hospital for that. And we had one on Florence Avenue that we took care of ourselves. We had 3 discolored water calls for the month, and all of them are attributed to their hot water heater. Our suggestions are to flush their hot water heater. And we have 1 odor in the water in the Kings Branch section, just as recently as the last couple days. And we believe that there's a lot of construction going on in the home, and we believe it's attributed to that. Some of the odors we couldn't detect outside at the source at the outside faucet. Inside in the bathrooms, which was really getting the work done. We believe it might be attributed to that. Nonetheless, we are doing some additional testing there. Our on-site testing was completely in compliance, so we can see there's no bacteria or anything going on there. But we strongly believe this because of the construction going in the house, but we will follow up with that. We do have a potential violation at the Woodstream wastewater treatment plant. We do a bioassay there on a monthly basis, and we have to stay within certain parameters of toxicity. However, our contract laboratory did the testing for us, which is required by the state, and it came back as we had failed that sampling. And I'm going to bring this up only because it's extremely odd. I don't know if you guys know the science behind a lot of that stuff, but when they do this sampling, they introduce it's almost like a fish. It's called a Daphne fish. Daphne. It's a fish that populates. So in this sample, 100% of the fish survived. We'll just use the term fish. The fish survived, but there was no reproduction rate. And for us to pass at our facilities, we have certain limits and rates the percentage that we have to have reproduction. So at Woodstream, the particular reproduction rate needs to be at 40% or greater. In this testing cycle, it was below 6%, which is kind of unheard of. Caitlin, our laboratory manager, she reached out to the state because this is kind of an unheard thing. It's not normal. the state basically kind of whiffed at it, the DEP, and said, okay, this is, we're gonna accept this, but we're gonna continue with an affirmative defense to the state, and hopefully that, they don't levy any fines towards us. The big thing with the fine is not only is it monetary, but it increases our sampling. We gotta do more sampling throughout the year. We have to do increased monitoring. That's where the real headache comes from. Another thing to note is the contract laboratory also agrees with us, that this is kind of unheard of, like it does not make sense, like why? And when you look at the spectrum of the chart of how, the survival rate, the mortality rate, reproduction rate, there's really no chart. It's kind of flatline. So there's no explanation of how this went. We asked to resample. We're kind of getting the roundabout no of it, but we're going to continue with our affirmative defense. I'll have to follow up with that if we do indeed incur some sort of violation on that. This is something that's happened to us in the past a few times throughout the years or decades or whatnot. It's not uncommon, but this test just doesn't make sense in all spectrums. So we saw, like 60% mortality rate, but we were 40% reproductive rate, we would be okay. But we saw 0 mortality and 0 reproduction, which makes 0 sense. And I'm trying to explain it. I don't know if you guys would, I can gladly take you down there and show you, but the sampling just doesn't make sense. But the DEP kind of doesn't want to hear it, and they're trying to just follow. You didn't pass it, and that's that. They're not accepting. We're willing to retest or find out what happened here. So toxicity, some of the things that can contribute to toxicity is, industrial facilities, which we don't have. We certainly don't have a pre-treatment for industrial facilities here in town. We're not aware of any big manufacturing facilities here. People's medicines, if someone dumped a ton of medicines, or CVS decided to clean out their bin of old medicines and dump them down there, that could be toxic. Usually metal plating, things of that nature. And we don't really have any, we can't pinpoint that at this point. There's really no way for us to test it in our system with the size of our system and pinpoint it to somewhere. And if it costs way overbearing in the cost. So like I said, we're going to continue with our affirmative defense and see what comes out in the end. And we have a really good relationship with our DEP inspector, and he advised us to do that as well. And hopefully we get some positive answers.
Hey, Jeff,
Yes, sir.
it seems rather a strange way to test. I mean, was it a good sample of fish?
Well,
I mean, how do they know the fish going in are okay?
Well, because the lab has a QC metrics as well. So it's called what's the word? Daphnia, I believe it is.
Seriadaphnia.
Seriadaphnia.
Mhm.
And
Very simple life form.
it's a simple life form. It's basically, like a guppy to a frog. Like, is that right? Guppy to a frog.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm like that goes.
so
You're tiny.
they have their own QC in-house that guarantees that we know that the Daphnia survived because we had 100% survival, which they just didn't reproduce for whatever reason. And that's why the lab kind of agrees with us, like what happened here. And they don't have an answer for us.
And Jeff, I believe the lab runs a blank sample.
The blank, right.
Same batch of Seriadaphnia without any wastewater in it, and make sure that they're thriving in the clear water before at
That's
the
correct.
same time.
Yeah, it's a
Right,
QC.
testing for you.
Yeah, that's the quality
Yeah.
control.
Yeah, thanks.
The fine is, I don't want to sound like it's, any fine is too much, but it's generally around 1,500. It's not like a huge fine. I don't want to see $1 be levied against us. I'd rather find out what the cause is. And we're certainly worried for the next bioassay sampling, like this happens again, how do we find it? Because it's, we're certainly not introducing toxins into our facility as through the process. It's coming in, it's being migrated in from somewhere we don't know. Typically, we go right to Stowe Road, what we would call the industrial park, which is not really any industrial, users back there. And we certainly don't have no industrial pretreatment plans in our authority that anyone has ever filled out, which in Limo, they would have saw their application and they would have suggested, an IPP.
Only one place left. Pop, so they're going. So
Yeah, they're gone.
Definitely not that.
Okay. gone.
Yeah, they left.
I was thinking of that.
Yeah, no, they left.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were the red dye folks.
Yeah.
Anything else on that subject?
You mentioned we may have to increase testing, like how, like, in terms of like, if the basis is you do X a year, how many more will we have to do?
That I also, I couldn't tell you, I have to ask Caitlin.
She
that.
said once a month.
You
I was talking to her today about it.
I think it is once a month for 6 months,
Okay.
if I stand corrected, I can get you that.
That's what she
answer.
said.
As I spoke last time about the tier 3 violation for PFAS, only because we could not sample out a 6 well for PFAS contaminants. However, when we did get the well back on, we were non-detect for PFAS, so all of our source well water, all of our wells are PFAS non-detect. But I just want to let everybody know that we had posted that on the EMUA website, and we also have a UR code on our bills that are going out for the next cycle to notify the residents of town.
Was there any blowback from the community?
We have not heard anything yet, no, but everybody's been tasked to direct any calls or questions to Caitlin herself, and she'll delegate as she needs it. Anything else?
If we're not,
Monday.
I'm sorry, if we're non-detect, what's the issue?
The issue is because we needed to sample and we could not sample because the well was out of service. So they consider that a violation because you did not complete your sampling.
And that sampling was by the end of 24.
Yeah, the
And
end
the
of
well
24.
didn't come back online until this year.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the well's being rebuilt or, I mean, it's out of service, but the DEP knows it's out of service, right?
Yeah, but you still have to sample your well sources. So for one time in 2024, the DEP knew that the well was out of service, correct? So we did get fired up for a total of 22 days in 2024 before it had catastrophic failure again in August. So because we ran that well for just 1 minute in 2024, we're required to sample.
It sounds like a catch-22. Nothing you can do about it.
But nonetheless, as soon as we put the well back online, the well was tested, sampled, and it is non-detect as well as our other wells. But I'm just following back up to say that the EMUA had posted everything on our website as well as the UR code that will go out with the site visibility.
It's just a bureaucratic conflict, that's all.
PFAS. Monday, May 9th, the EMUA will be hosting a mini seminar, the future of wastewater processes, water and wastewater processes, and that's with New Jersey Water Environment Association. And also Tuesday, New Jersey Water, they did not have a location for a seminar they had scheduled. They had a conflict, they reached out to us. We were able to secure the Gibson House again on the 10th, thanks to Monica Vandenberg. And we will be hosting a seminar there. And that's basically for the new in-suite regulatory requirements that we will have to be doing online with the DEP. So that's a really good one for us to attend. June 27th, we will be having an employee appreciation barbecue as we have been doing the last few years. We like to do it around July 4th, but our head chef will be on vacation that week, which is Jimmy, so we moved it up to the 27th the week prior. We will be installing a water service out at Eastboro Downs. That'll be for the township. They plan on having some sort of blow up water slide a couple of times throughout the year for their farm market. We'll also be participating as always in the July 4th parade. This year, we're also asked to participate in Township's Touch a Truck, which is, I believe, August 27th. We'll have a few trucks out there for them. And I spoke to Wayne earlier. We did receive the TWA application from the DEP to move forward with the Snelly Farms lift station upgrades. We also have WEF coming up in the end of September. I spoke to the personnel committee. I would like to take one commissioner and at least another frontline manager and possibly a frontline supervisor. And they agreed to that. And the last thing that I have on my agenda is, I believe Frank sent out to everybody today about some mail management supervisors, training. Make sure the commissioners have all signed up for. So we get them rebates back. If you have not, please reach out to Frank and he'll let you know what courses need to be taken by the commissioners.
Any last questions for Jeff? No? Wayne, you're up.
Thank you. Nothing new on Southside Water or Storage Tank. Route 70 water main replacement, still trying to find that, those last two services before, the water main can be transferred over to, from the old main to the new main. So, that's ongoing and hopefully that'll be done soon. I recommend that we table the resolution again because the contractor said he was gonna get me a revised price on it and he hasn't yet.
Okay. Do I have a motion to table resolution 2025-45?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Please, any questions? Please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Dress,
Yeah, aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye.
Route 70 sewer main, replacement, that's due for its, 2-year anniversary inspection. That will be occurring soon, and then we can release the, maintenance bond on that. Elmwood Storage Building is about 99% complete. The remaining work is inspections by the township, which will occur on Friday, I hear. And then installation of the stairs and fencing and gate that goes up to the loft area above the office. I have nothing new on well 6. The UV disinfection, they are installing the bypass piping that is necessary to drain the inner channel so the UV equipment can be placed in it. So the next step will be to drain that inner channel and do the concrete renovations that are required to support the new equipment when it arrives. Both the Heritage Village and the Cottonwood Drive water mains, I'd say they're about 99% complete also. Still a little bit of I think I hear road work, striping is required and general restorations. They're pretty much almost done. Sinelli Farms Lift Station, as Jeff said, we have our permit and we're ready to go out to bid.
Okay. I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-66. Authorize
moved.
advertisement for Sinelli Farm Lift Station.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Wayne, do you have anything you need to add to that?
No.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Wayne? Seeing that, please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Dress,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye.
The SCADA upgrades have been completed. The generator replacement, we are at the point now where I will be sharing the plans with the authority staff. And we'll probably have at least a virtual meeting to go over how that new generator will be placed on the site. And then we can proceed forward with our design, but it has progressed nicely in the last month or so. Kings Grant Drive water main replacement. We are starting to design the water main to be placed within the roadway on the side where the existing water main is. It's almost like a boulevard. There's a center divider in there, so we're going to keep it to the same size.
Okay.
Well 5 redevelopment, we are done with our specs and ready to go out to bid.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-63 authorizing advertisement for well number 5 development?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Wayne, do you have anything to add?
No.
Okay. Any questions for Wayne? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Wilmot,
Aye.
Mr. Dress,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye.
And well 8 replacement, we're working on the specs for that. Probably have a meeting later this month with Schultes and just go over everything and make sure that we're on the same page with their recommendation. Pine Grove Pump Station, that design is underway, but has a few more months to go. And then we have an application.
Okay, motion to approve S1W1 for Orleans Investment Land Associates LP, 100 Morningside Drive, and it's a subdivision. I have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
This is a 6-unit, single-family subdivision within Barton's Run. There used to be a pool.
Oh, it's the Barton's Pool?
Yeah, it's the property that the pool was located on.
Okay. Interesting. All right, anybody have any questions for Wayne? Seeing none, please call the roll.
I just want to verify that it's 100 Lakeside Drive, this is Morning
Pretty sure it's the lake.
Lakeside.
No, it is Lakeside.
Yeah, yeah.
The wrong side, Morning Glory. I
Yeah.
don't know where that came from, but.
Where that is the lakeside on.
Now I'm more glory in from me. I just learned my favorite.
Mr. Willard,
Aye.
Mr. Durst,
Aye.
Mr. Kipnis,
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Mr. Water.
Aye. All right, any final questions for Wayne? Okay. General counsel's report, Kelly,
Nothing, thank you.
today, okay. Public comment, I see no one from the public here, I'm gonna close the comment. Yes, Jeff.
I just got an update from Caitlin, thank you. It's increased monitoring up to 6 months. We have to have 6 months straight of positive results. And they're about $1,500 a sample.
So it will cost us like about $10,000. Okay. All right, thanks, Jeff.
Okay. Byron, you wanna lead us off?
Sure. I saw Jordan at the I think it was Jordan at the Marlton Day, manning the booth. Is it Jordan that I saw?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I will be attending as Eve Sham Sam on 4th of July parade this year. I think that's just about the same time we have the next meeting. If WEF Tech attendance rotation allows, I'll volunteer for that. And otherwise, I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but I got sicker and sicker today. I didn't want to get anybody else sick. So it made a last minute decision.
Well, thank you, Byron, we appreciate that. Andrew, you wanna go next?
Thank you, everybody. I was also at Marlton Day. It was good to see the MUA tent there and at the 4th of July parade. I'll probably go to that. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mike?
Just thank you to our employees and everyone who's from for all the work.
Okay, Lou?
Yeah, thank you. I reiterate what Mike said. Thank you to the team. Chris, I really appreciated the evaluation and the comments on that. And just like everybody, keep up the good work. I think we're working well together.
Great. All right, and I'll just say again, thanks to the staff, top to bottom, best organization in New Jersey. Thank you, Chris, for keeping me honest as always. And our next meeting will be on July 2nd, right here at 100 Sharp Road at 7 p.m. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Done.
And I will not attend the next meeting. I'll be in Bellevue.
Is you ready? Or you-
No,
I'll be in Bellevue.
So what's
I guess Rich is not there. He's helping his brother.
I don't know. Maybe he's the one putting out all the signs down Church Road.
Wow.
I'm going.
All right,
That's a-
everybody.
Good night. Feel better, Lou. Feel better. Fired.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Take
Chris,
care,
thank you
Byron.
very
Be well.
much for the